I'm Marianne Craig, and I'm on my way to the Trafford Centre in Manchester to check out the new exhibition, Tutankhamun, His Tomb and His Treasures. It's been doing a world tour, and it recreates his burial chambers and over 1,000 artefacts that were discovered with the famous pharaoh. I've never been to Egypt myself, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this amazing vision of ancient Egypt. So we're here at the Tutankhamun exhibition in Manchester, and the exhibition begins with recreated displays of the antechamber and other burial chambers as they were discovered when Howard Carter broke down the walls. And I'm joined by Bob Partridge, the editor of the Ancient Egypt magazine, to explain to me a little bit more about some of the things I can see. Bob, I must admit that I was a little bit dubious when I came to the exhibition because everything is a reconstruction. There's nothing, in inverted commas, real about this. But what I love about this is it really shows you what Howard Carter would have seen on that day in 1922 when he broke down the doors and he said, "What do you see? I see wondrous things." Because archaeology as a process is destructive.
Absolutely. I mean, we're very lucky. Carter's clearance of the tomb was very well recorded, and he had lots of photographs taken by photographer Harry Burton. So everything was photographed as it stood. But Carter had no idea what to expect. When he broke down the doorway, for all he knew, it could have been an empty chamber, because that has happened before.
And it really wasn't.
Imagine his shock when he broke down the door. And I mean, one of his comments was "gold everywhere, the glint of gold." And you can see that throughout the exhibition, because the objects here, there's an incredible amount of gold there. But nothing like this had been found before. But you're absolutely right. Once you clear the tomb, you've destroyed the context. And when you put objects in a museum in a glass case, you've lost the context of the object that was either side of it, which may have been connected to it. You even lose the context between boxes and their contents. What this replica tomb scene has done is created to full scale, recreated the Harry Burton pictures, if you like, in full colour and in 3Ds. What it shows is the complete jumble of objects.
It is a real jumble. I mean, it looks like somebody's garage or storeroom.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's almost what it is, a storeroom, because it's a very small chamber. The objects were probably designed for a bigger tomb, and they've been jammed in here. So this demonstrates the problem that Carter faced. I think he was horrified by the responsibility of the excavation, because he had to remove these objects one at a time. They were fragile. Moving one object could damage the other ones possibly. But the contents have been preserved, and it means that future generations can do that. But making copies is a very good way of making you look at the originals and understanding them, I think, to some extent, more than you would before. But in every little cut here has been referred back to the original.
From a cast taken, or drawings?
The copy was made, well, they were working from photographs and measurements and constantly checking the measurements. But the artist in Egypt made a full-size version out of plaster. So he carved it in plaster. And then from that a mold was taken, and then it was cast in copper and then electro-silver plated and gold plated. So I mean, this is a very expensive replica, but it really is good. I mean, it's stunning to see it, and I mean the base as well, and the mast the same way. This is the object I brought you to look at in particular. It's a fairly unprepossessing and fairly simple cup. It's made out of calcite or Egyptian alabaster. But to my mind, it sums up what the tomb is all about. The idea of the tomb was to get from this life to the afterlife. The Egyptians regarded their afterlife as a better version of their life, their own life. It was Egypt as they knew it, but with all the nice bits there and the nasty bits removed. So no disease, no famine. So you have to imagine an afterlife where they were happy and everyone prospered.
That sounds good.
Well, it's a universal concept, isn't it?
Absolutely.
This shows two aspects of the afterlife. The first thing are the names of the deceased person. It was important that the names of the deceased were spoken and remembered. So on the front of the cup, we have the two names of Tutankhamun, Neb-Khepru-Ra. So by repeating those words, by me saying those words or you saying them, we've added 10 years to Tutankhamun's afterlife. It's important you speak of the dead. If you speak of the dead, they live. Around the top of the cup is an inscription, and it's aimed at the soul of the king, his car. And it sums up, to my mind, the idea of the afterlife. And the inscription says something like, may your car live. May you spend millions of years, O you who love Thebes, with your face to the north wind, your two eyes beholding happiness. And that's what it's all about. You've got a lovely Egypt very hot, but a nice cooling north wind, and you're there in the afterlife and you're happy. That's what it's all about. And that's what all the contents of the tomb are there for, to get Tutankhamun's car to his home for millions of years, beholding happiness.